Hello everybody, Corn here and welcome to my channel. I thought we'd do just one of these for a craft with me because, to be real honest, I've already completed these for someone in particular who loves mint green and pink and white and cream. And so I got this idea. It's not an original one. I got this idea from G. Kerr, or Carr, it's K-E-R-R, so I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly. I've heard it either way, but I will link her channel below. And it's making little flowers out of seam binding. Now, most of y'all know, for years I've been making my flowers out of ripped cotton and lace and buttons and appliques and all sorts of goodies on top of my fabric flowers. But I had never really thought about doing seam binding flowers because of how tiny they would be. But tiny, as we all know, can be wonderful wallpaper crafting. And I think we should all do things different. You all have heard me say that before. I'll do things originally. And G puts pearls, like a pearl bead in the center, and she does hers a little different, but the exact same way of, sewing them. She was saying that either 5 inches or 6 inches for your seam binding. But I found I did one with 6 inches. And that's this one. And see, it really, the gathers are very, very thick, if that makes sense, or high. So I personally found out that I prefer 5 inches to do mine. And seam binding, ribbon, seam binding, organza ribbon, and then the seam binding again. And I'm going to sit down now. I also, before I go on, I also punched out some leaves in case the recipient would like to, put leaves on either side of the flower. This I got on Amazon, which is Hobby and You. And I like it. It's a nice punch. Also, for one of them I did this for her because I didn't know if she wanted it done to all of them. But this is a 3/4 inch punch by EK Tools. And let's see, which one is on the, is that? Yeah, it's on this one. And I just mounted it on that because we all know how easy it is just to glue paper to paper. And for an example, like this, you know how we make out of our doilies, our double pocket, you would have to put something behind here so that you wouldn't glue your pocket shut. But, for an example, something like this, and then here and here, to decorate just a small little double pocket. They have dimension, but they don't have massive dimension, where you'd be like, uh-oh, should I put that in my journal or not? And something like this would be fun on the front of a card or on the inside of a card. And it's with maybe a cute little clip here to your card to say, something for your journal to let you know I'm thinking of you or something like that. And but I only did that to the one because I thought she might, she might want to do that. And being a paper crafter herself, But I did not know if she had this punch, so I punched out the leaves for all of them in case she wanted them. And if she doesn't want them, she can either pass them on or use them on something else. So for now, it's just like G said, they're quick. That's the great thing about these guys. They are quick. And let's place these up here with the seam binding and ribbon. I will show you the ribbon I used. That might be good to do. The first one, since she loves mint so much, and she does love glitter, she puts glitter on quite a few of her creations. And so this is from the Ribbon Boutique, which is Hobby Lobby. And it was originally $2.99, but I took that sticker off, so I probably got it either half off or 75% off. This is from Dollar Tree, which is this little one. And it's so sheer, but doesn't it come out lovely, that sheer? Oh, so pretty, the organza. And that's Dollar Tree. And then the Ofray, this is from Walmart, guys. And that's this one. And I also had a pearl bead, the same color that I was thinking about sewing. You can either sew or glue it in there, but I was thinking about sewing it. But then when I kept going back to this, because I just thought it was so pretty, and I think she will like that better, but I'm not sure. But I think she will. So, like I said, let's do one of these. This seam binding is vintage, and I got it at a thrift store. I think it was originally like 19 cents or something. It was old. And the thing is, when I, with the Snug Hug, when I dye my own seam binding, as most of you know, I crunch it, crunch it, crunch it. And you can do a flower in that, but it works a lot better if it's not. And here's the thing, it was on that cardboard for so long, even washing it, and I dried it naturally, it still has the little the little fold right there. But I measure out 5 inches. Of course, you all know it doesn't have to be exact, but it almost comes exactly where that fold line is. And I also use, let me interrupt myself for a second, I also use the Snug Hug, as you can see I've used quite a bit of it, for the whiter, these two, the whiter ones, because she likes, the recipient likes white, and she also likes cream color. But, and I don't know if you can see or not, but the rayon in the vintage one has an interesting weave to it. I don't know if the light is picking that up or not. Then you're going to take your thread, which mine is Coats, Dual Duty Plus, probably from Walmart. Had it a while. And you're just going to, on this end, I've already knotted it. I have a real weird way of how I knot my thread. I've never seen anybody else do it like that, but it works for me. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 stitches down here, because this is rayon and very nice and slippery. And make sure that that's going to stay put, since we are going to gather this baby. And I'm going to try to stay in frame, even though these eyes of mine want to get a lot closer. And this is a running stitch that you're just going to go back and forth. It is wonderful if you can keep your stitches close to the seam, but if you don't, it is no big deal. It just sometimes looks prettier, you know what I mean, if your gathers are pretty close. But especially with it being rayon, it's quite slippery. But by being slippery, it's a little bit fun to do too. And just pull that. And then we're going to continue on. And you'll see they're absolutely beautiful and elegant, and it's not going to take you forever to do. And as you can also see how this is, the rayon's already unraveling there. I'll show you what I do. G didn't do it, but I do it. Now, did this get wrapped around here? Yeah, it did. That happens sometimes too. But we've got it. It's all good. And I have this double. Okay? So now we're going to gather it. And then what you want to do is you're going to place, I unravel it just a little so I can place my two. Let me dangle this down since I kind of, sometimes when you are sewing, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but sometimes your thread doesn't stay straight, and if you just dangle it like that, the weight of the needle will keep it nice and straight. So then what you're going to do is pull it kind of tight, and again, try to make sure that your ends are meeting, maybe a little tighter than that, and then you're going to go here and then go to where your knot is in the first place and make a stitch. Now you don't have to do what I did, I don't think G does, but what I do is after I do that, then I go through here and do it once and do it twice, because I have no desire for my knot to fail. I want it not to fail. I know, I know. I'm not called corn for nothing. So, you know, and then you fiddle with it, you know, to get your gathers where you want them. But another thing that I do, G doesn't do it, I don't think, but when I'm working with my fabric flowers and I see a lot of fraying, I go ahead, after I do the knot, and I go ahead and sew the seam. This is the seam right here. But since this is so tiny, and I think it's just going to be placed or glued on items, what I do is I take my fabric tack and, sorry for the noise, and I just run a very light bead there, and I put my seam together, and then I do go ahead and cut off those little stray rayon ravelings. And as you know, sometimes with fabric tack, to kind of hold it there is nice, but I go ahead and cut these off. Okay, and then you've got this tiny, sweet little sweet little flower that's rayon. So, like I said, you can do a pearl. Let me see, do I have one just to show you? The pearls that I have are either huge or tiny, but this one is a good size, and I personally don't know. But see how cute that would be if you just wanted to sew that in the center. I'm going to do something a little different like I've been doing with these. Let's see. To keep it neutral, I was thinking maybe doing that. So that for me, because this one will be mine, it'll be a neutral one. And I have a large enough hole in the center where I can place it, you know what I mean? The center of this right down in there, which is what I'm going to do. And again, G was working with a hot glue gun, which if is that your thing, you know, then you could do that. I have several hot glue guns, but I hardly ever use them. And with beads and stuff, I don't, because I had made really, I was very happy with the fabric flower. And I'm going to hold that for a while, guys, and make sure my gathers are where I want them. And what happened was, I couldn't believe this happened. So I made it for a friend, and she liked it so much, she put it on a package and sent it back to me, but minus my button that I had hot glued on the center came off. So I was like, and she still thought it was pretty. I was like, no! So that's why I don't do that. I mean, it's quick, it's easy, but I'm like, no. I have issues, as you all know, with adhesives failing. I don't like that at all, you know. And that's how this one comes out. Very neutral, put it with everything, you know. If you would like, we could do one more and do a ribbon instead. We could do this, because a lot of people, if you don't have a Dollar Tree, maybe you have a Poundland or something of another name, or you all get to see my crazy way I do my knots. And maybe you have some store that has a great deal on a few crafting items. So let's do one more. We'll do a ribbon one, and then we'll stop. Because I know when I do craft with me's, where is that in? They're kind of long, and a lot of people don't have that kind of time to stay. So 5 inches. Isn't that pretty? I love it when Dollar Tree brings it. And yes, that's not cut straight. Close. Close. But we're doing the exact same thing. Oh, wait a minute, guys. Let's see something. I wonder how this would be paired with lace, because G does that too. She does lace, but it has to be very narrow lace. Let's see. Ribbon and lace. Let's see how that would. This is nice lace, by the way. And do I have it on the right side? This is the correct side. What you do need, the seam binding, most of it is 1/2 inch. So you need your lace to be short. I don't know how it's going to do on the ribbon, but let's give it a try. I mean, you know, what can happen? It fails. And this is something for me, because I really love this lace. And I did not cut that right either. Okay, there, now we're good. Okay, same thing, just make sure that your edges are perfectly aligned. Yeah, and let's get this going. I'm going to go ahead and cut my threads right here because they were a little long. And then that running stitch. Whoops, my needle's not as happy going through both. The ribbon's a little bit stiff. That's why I'm a little bit concerned about how it might come out. But we might, yeah, it's it's quite stiff. So, but we can get through there. I hope everyone's doing well and happy. Yeah, this is, as you see, is giving me a little bit of a run for my money. Oh, I'm going to end it. I'm just going to go through a few and pull it up instead of the whole, because the ribbon, I had forgotten. I did it last night and I had forgotten. The ribbon is very stiff. Almost like it's been starched or something. Okay, let's see what happens when we gather it. Ooh, ooh, I like that. Ooh, it's good. Okay, let's let that needle dangle so that nothing happens. Pull the thread over here. Then we're going to line up our ends. In case you're wondering, so you guys can see, I can't see very well. And that's glasses and all. That happens. I need it very close to me. Okay, maybe we can go a little tighter yet. And now I need it real close because I can't find my other knot. There. Now we're okay. Okay, so let's, oh, that's sweet, isn't it? I like that, but I do have to cut the lace a little bit back here. It got a little bit long on this side. Whee! It just goes all over, doesn't it? And then I'm going to, now with it being both of them, see my hole is larger than it normally is. So what if we do that? Ooh, I like. Or we could do that. I kind of like that even better. But here's the thing. This is not, this is so much dimension on it that this lying flat would be easier to use on items. So I'm going to go this route. But first, I'm going to go ahead and place the fabric tack here for my seam. Come on, you. See, it's that organza's fraying already too. Okay. We'll just hold that for a little bit. Can't you all see how it, I hope that's picking up how pretty that ribbon is. That ribbon's beautiful. And then what I do normally is if there's any little scraggly bits, first I, like here, because you're cutting the trim, and so there's a scraggly bit. There. And then we just go ahead and put our fabric tack on the back. And we'll place that there. And I think that, since it's, you know, the organza, I think that would be prettier on something white. You know, so it would show up really well, because I think if we were to put it on this one, it doesn't show up as well. You know what I mean? Let's see, do we have anything? I have the back of something I use to put glue on, but I think that shows up better. And I thought you all might be interested in making some your own, and I'm sure you want to go by and see what G does with hers. And I think she even uses seed beads at one point on some of hers. And I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care.